Let's look at the definite integral from 3 to negative 3 of the quantity x minus 1 times the quantity 4x plus 4. We see something is different here. In our previous questions, we had the larger number on top and the smaller number on bottom. And in this case, we have a smaller number on top and a larger number on bottom. And that's okay. We can just go forward with it as it. The second issue that we run into is that these are multiplied. And that always causes issues when there's a multiplication and an antiderivative. Usually we have to work around it somehow. In this instance, we're going to work to expand. So this will be just a distribution with the box method. And when we do that expansion, we end up with 4x squared minus 4x plus 4x minus 4. And so we end up with, these cancel, and we end up with the definite integral from 3 to negative 3 of 4x squared minus 4 dx. So we can proceed with our process. The first step is we need to find an antiderivative of 4x squared minus 4. Turns out that we get 4/3 x cubed minus 4x. And so the second step is to plug in the bounds. Because negative 3 was on top, it will be first. So we've gotten to the final step of this process, which is we're going to take our antiderivative, plug in top bound, the bottom bound, and subtract. We get 4/3 times negative 3 cubed minus 4 times negative 3. And this is all one thing. And then we're going to subtract 4/3 times 3 cubed minus 4 times 3. I need parentheses around both of these blocks because they're one computation that we're going to do together. So this is the calculation that would give you the final answer. So there's a property of definite integrals at play here that we could have used. If you write the integral in the wrong order in terms of the bounds, it's the negative or the opposite of if you had written it in the other order. When we started out with the definite integral from 3 to negative 3 of 4x squared minus 4 dx, there are some people who would really like to make this be negative and make that be a definite integral from negative 3 to 3. And you can totally do that. Some people are strongly incentivized to write them so that the smaller number is on the bottom and the larger number is on top. And if you want to rewrite it that way, you just have to put a minus in front. The reason for that is if you think about what we're doing, we're tracking area, but we're also kind of tracking area in a particular direction. So if we take the area in the opposite direction, there's a sense in which it should be accounted for by this negative sign. So it's not a completely rigorous justification. In terms of the property, this is the property that we're looking for. In terms of the explanation as to why, well, it's a little bit complex, but basically it's because we're now taking the integral in the wrong direction. So to account for that, we change the sign.